everybody and welcome to another episode of RedReadyman. In this episode we're going to be taking a look at the Holiday Cup. Now the Holiday Cup will be running from 28th of December, it'll be running for 1 week only, and it's going to be a very specific meta. This was announced back in November the 30th, which seems like a lifetime ago, but basically we'll be running from 1pm PST on the 28th until Monday the 4th, 2021 at 1pm. The limit will be a 1,500 CP limit, of course, as normal. And the only types allowed will be normal, grass, electric, flying, ghost. Nothing else from the meta will be allowed in there. But actually, it's a really kind of quite big meta, and there's actually quite a few differences in there. I think the thing we won't be seeing is we won't be seeing a Azumarill, so that's kind of nice that it gives us a little Azumarill break from Great League. And I've been doing a little bit of research on the meta, and I've got some thoughts and feelings on what I think we're going to be seeing a lot of, and what you need to prepare for within your teams. So let's get into that. We are going to see Alteria. Alteria is going to be everywhere. It is super powered in this meta. And is really going to be one of the key Pokemon that you're going to be seeing. Alongside that, what is a really good counter for Azumarill, for Alteria, and a lot of the rest of the meta is Frostlass. Frostlass is super spammy, like gets to its charge move so quick. Powder Snow is such a quick charge move, and I do feel that we're going to be seeing quite a few Frostlasses out there. There are lots of alternatives, and we'll get into those now. So this is the first tier of Pokemon that I think you need to really pay some serious attention to for your choices. So we know already that Obstagoon is a monster. Night Slash powers up so quickly. Its coverage with Gunk Shot and fighting moves is fantastic and really makes it a super viable Pokemon for this meta. AWAC, I mean, we've seen AWAC in every single meta that runs where it can be played. It has uses. Its coverage with Bone Club and also its ghost typing just give it a massive coverage in the meta, and also its fire moves just make it really powerful. And then Vigoroth. Vigoroth is going to be it is the number one safe swap at the moment in the meta. It is bulky. It has fighting moves as well as some normal type moves, which give it really good coverage. Brick Break is not the greatest fighting move in the world, but it's certainly really good to have as coverage alongside with Body Slam. So Vigoroth, I think we will see really a lot of too because of that safe swap potential. Then we go into the second tier. Wigglytuff, we're going to see quite a few Wigglytuffs, I think. Galvantula. Galvantula has been everywhere in Great League ever since it got its buffed move of Leauge. And I don't think anything is going to change in this meta. Its electric typing is particularly good for the Alteria. It is particularly good for Skarmory. And it really is going to give it lots of play in this meta, I believe. And then we have regular Stunfisk. The forgotten Pokemon, I almost think, is because Galarian Stunfisk is so OP in Great League that normal Stunfisk doesn't really get a look in. But I remember when it was launched, everybody was super excited that this was going to be, you know, a really strong meta-changing Pokemon. Its electric ground typing is pretty unique and not something you see a lot of. And I think that this will have some great play. And again, very spammy, very, very quick moves. I've picked out some Pokemon that I think you might already have built. So Drifblim, with Hex generating all of that energy, and Icy Wind for the debuff potential. It is amazing. Snorlax in every single league. I think I know a lot of people have got Snorlaxes already built. Dugong. Now, Dugong is only really useful if you go dual legacy. So that Ice Shard, Icy Wind combination really make it viable and important. With the loads of elite charge TMs we got during the community day, I think that it is quite possible for you, for people to have these legacy moved Pokemon now. And he's a really good alternative to Frostlass. I know that I built one and I haven't really used it yet, so I think in this cup I will probably have a little bit of a play with it and a little bit of go. And then Skarmory. We all have our Skarmorys ready built for Great League, I hope. If you're a serious PvPer, then you know the power of Skarmory. I actually caught one very recently, which is a rank 7, which I'm very tempted to invest some Stardust in to get to have a good one. My one currently is like 107th ranked, which, is okay, but that would be quite an upgrade for a relatively small cost. And then I've got some spice ideas in here. So Alolan Graveler, again, very interesting typing with the Rock Electric. It is super powerful, and I've actually come across Alolan Graveler in a few auto-rec battles and been really surprised at how spammy and how powerful it can be. Little bit of a glass cannon, but interesting. Alolan Sandslash, a very, very useful Pokemon, a great alternative for the ice, will give you lots of coverage against the flying and the dragons, and again, a Pokemon that you're very likely to have, so an interesting one. The other two, so Diggersby, when you look at the level 51, so, using the XL candies, I think it's rank 4 in the PV Poke meta, and the regular non-level 40, so level 50, sorry, the level 40, is around about 17th, so quite a big gap between them. I've run a few simulations and I can't really understand why. If you have a level 41 that has got good PvP IVs, I would definitely have a go at running it. I have a level 45 one, I think it is now, but I'm not going to get it to 50 before this cup, so not sure I will be running to use it this time round, but I am working on it and walking it to get the candies to then turn into XL candies, and could be a very, very interesting Pokemon, a little bit spicy. And as winter is upon us and lots of us are in areas where snow is a real thing, Snowy Castform is a really interesting Pokemon that has some great coverage, and is incredibly spammy as well. And if you have one and you have a good PvP one, this could be the perfect time to invest in that Snowy Castform. So let's take a look at the meta as I see it. So let's say Alteria is going to be really powerful. We're going to see it get key wins against Marowak, Vigoroth, Obstagoon, Diggersby, Stunfisk, all of the Pokemon I've talked about. But it's going to have some key losses to things like Skarmory, Alolan Graveler, Wigglytuff, Dugong, Abomasnow, to add to that Frostlass. There's going to be... Although it's really powerful, I think there's going to be a lot of teams built around what do I do with the Alteria. So having some coverage for that is really, really important. And any team that you're building for this cup, I think it's really important that you go for that, the cover for Alteria, if not using your own Alteria as well. As I say, I'm really excited by Frostlass. I've never really used it in any major competitions. I have one that is good PvP IVs and ready to be invested in, and I think now is the time to take that lunge. And again, I think it's because it's Vigoroth. Vigoroth is going to be the number 1 safe swap. So, it gives you some coverage should you not be able to quite get it aligned correctly. It gives you that beautiful coverage against Alteria, Stunfisk, Diggersby, Abomasnow. It does have some key losses to Marowak, to Skarmory, Obstagoon, Wigglytuff, and Graveler. And going Crunch, Shadow Ball, Avalanche and Crunch with Powder Snow as the fast move is definitely the way to go with this Pokemon. Really does give you that fantastic coverage against the dragons and the flyers. And then the safe swap of Vigoroth. Again, I do think we'll see a lot of Vigoroth. It gives you really good coverage against Obstagoon, Graveler, Diggersby, Stunfisk, Abomasnow, but loses horribly to Marowak, Skarmory, Alteria, Wigglytuff, and Galvantula. When I say loses horribly, actually doesn't lose horribly. It loses to them, but it's not a straight wall. There is no wall for Vigoroth. There are lots of counters for it, but there's nothing that will completely wall it. So looking at the core, then what I think is going to be in this meta is the Alteria and Snorlax. You see all of the mixes there. I think it's really important to have these in mind when building a team. And looking, this is why things like Skarmory, Alolan Marowak, Obstagoon, Wigglytuff are really interesting Pokemon because they will give you fantastic coverage against these Pokemon. So I've pulled together some teams for you. I mean, this is really just from studying the meta and watching a heck of a lot of YouTube videos on this. So thank you to everybody who has put out videos already, which has really helped me get my head around it. And I'm just trying to put it to you in a more simpler way because I'm a simple PvPer. So hopefully that will come across. But the Alteria, Vigoroth, Snorlax, I think is a really nice line. I think it'll probably be the most common line that we see. And do expect to come across that one. The AWAC, Dugong and Obstagoon, I think really interesting, gives you lots of coverage of that team above, gives you lots of safe swaps into places there. And then we've got Galvantula, Skarmory and a regular Stunfisk, and these are going to be give you lots of coverage against everything that you find. It's quite a balanced team. Having some flying in there will definitely help. And then having the punish for the flyers really will, again, give you that coverage. And then finally, I've gone for Wigglytuff, AWAC and Alteria. I can't get away from that Alteria should really be in your team if you have one ready powered up, which you probably do because it's a fantastic Pokemon for the regular Great League and definitely has some coverage in the Sylph tournament. So we should take a look at PV Poke here. So in number 1, Alteria. Number 2 is Vigoroth. 3 is Obstagoon. The Diggersby, I'm not convinced on the Diggersby yet. I hope that I'm proved wrong and I would really love to use mine. And hopefully, level 45, 46, it will have some play. And then we're going into the ones that we've talked about here. So really what we've looked at is the meta is very much the meta. We've talked about all of these Pokemon. And if you think I've put this together by looking on PV Poke, this was the final slide that I put together. And I just really wanted to kind of focus on these are going to be the key Pokemon that we are going to be seeing in this tournament and across the next week while it's in place. So I hope you found that useful. I found it useful putting it together. It's really helped me get my head around where I'm going with my teams, and I hope with you. Please, in the comments below, are you looking forward to the Holiday Cup? Is it something that excites you, or is it something that turns you off and you're going to be playing Master League and going to do all of those things? Listen, thank you very much for joining me as always, but what are you still doing here? Let's go, Pogo.